Tertullian's Apology, chapter 39, on Christian worship. At this point, I shall reveal the real activities of the Christian faction. I have refuted the allegations of evil. I shall now display its virtuous practices. We are a body united by a common religious profession, by a godly discipline, by a bond of hope. We meet together as an assembly and congregation that as an organized force we may assail God with our prayers. Such violence is acceptable to God. We pray also for emperors, for their ministers and those in authority, for man's temporal welfare, for the peace of the world, for the delay of the end of all things. We are compelled to refresh our memories of our sacred writings, if any special feature of the present time requires warning or reconsideration. In any case, we nourish our faith with these holy utterances. We stimulate our hope. We establish our confidence. And at the same time, we strengthen our discipline by the inculcation of the precepts. In the same place, also, exhortations, rebukes, and godly censures are administered. For judgment is passed with great seriousness, as is natural, with men who are convinced that they are in the sight of God. And you have the most impressive anticipation of the judgment to come, when a man has so sinned as to be banished from participation in prayer and meeting and all sacred intercourse. Our presidents are approved elders, and they obtain that honor not by purchase, but by their tested character. For there is no price attached to any of the things of God. Though we have a kind of money chest, it is not for the collection of official fees, as if ours were a religion of fixed prices. Each of us puts in a small donation on the appointed day in each month, or when he chooses, and only if he chooses, and only if he can. For no one is compelled, and the offering is voluntary. This is, as it were, the deposit fund of kindness. For we do not pay out money from this fund to spend on feasts, or drinking parties, or inelegant blowouts, but to pay for the nourishment and burial of the poor, to support boys and girls who are orphan and destitute, and old people who are confined to the house, and those who have been shipwrecked, and any who are in the mines, or banished to islands, or in prison, are pensioners because of their confession, provided they are suffering because they belong to the followers of God. But it is principally the practice and application of such affection as this that puts a brand of disgrace upon us with certain people. See, they say, how they love one another, for they themselves hate one another. See how ready they are to die for each other, for they will more readily kill each other. They find fault with us too, because we call each other brother. And the reason for their calumny is just this, I feel sure, that among them every name of relationship is assumed in mere affectation. What wonder, then, if a love so great is expressed in a common feast? I say this because you jeer at our humble meals as being extravagant as well as infamously criminal. The name of the feast explains the reason for it. It is called by the Greek name for love, agape. Before reclining, they taste first a prayer to God. Enough is eaten to satisfy hunger, as much as drunk as befits the temperate. They take their fill by the standards of those who remember that even during the night they have to worship God. Their conversation is that of men who know that God hears them. After washing of hands and the lighting of lamps, individual members are invited to stand out and sing to the best of their ability, either from the sacred scriptures or something of their own composing, which gives a test how much they've drunk. The feast ends, as it began, with prayer. Who has ever been harmed by our assemblies? We are in our meeting just what we are when we are dispersed. We are the same as a body as we are as individuals. We hurt no one. We bring sorrow to no one. When the decent and the good meet together, when the kindly and the pure assemble, that should not be called a faction, but a solemn assembly.